Hello everyone. Today, our Group C, will present our project titled Idioms Around Us Family Guy. For this project, we choose to explore idioms that appears in season 9 of Family Guy, which is of the funniest and most chaotic animated sitcoms. So before we start, here are the members of Group C. First, my name is Muhammad Faik Dermawan.
My name is Naswa Ferisha Salasabila.
My name is Jalika Rahmadivani.
We work together to find, analyze, and explain all the idioms from the episodes we watch. So let's get started.
So first, what exactly is an idiom? Basically, an idiom is a phrase that doesn't make sense if we translate it word for word. The real meaning is different from the literal meaning. For example, break the ice doesn't mean breaking actual ice. It means starting a conversation or making a situation less awkward. Idioms like this appear a lot in English, especially in movies, TV shows, and daily conversation, which is why they're important to understand. Next, a little bit about Family Guy. It's an animated sitcom that follows the Caribbean family living in Quahog, Rhode Island. The show was created by Seth MacFarlane and is known for sarcastic humor, dark jokes, and tons of pop culture reference. The main characters include Peter, Louise, Meg, Chris, Stewie, and their talking dog Brian. Because the show uses more adult and natural conversations, it is full of idioms we hear in real life. We choose Family Guy because honestly, it's fun to watch and the humor is very entertaining. But besides being funny, the show uses a lot of idioms in casual conversation. Unlike some cartoons that use very simple language, Family Guy feels more like how the adults talk, sarcastic, expressive, and full of idiomatic expressions that makes it perfect for learning English naturally. Next, what is the purpose? So, the goal of this project is to identify and understand various expressions that appear in the ninth season of the Family Guy series. Through this project, we want to explore the meaning behind these expressions and see how they are used in everyday conversation. Next. First, in the episode 1, and then there were fewer. In minute 33, the soldier reads the sentence, "Dear Willie, it's been awful lonesome since you've been away," and is immediately moved, thinking that his girlfriend is showing her love and loyalty. But Brian interrupts by saying, "You're all wet," an idiom expression that means you're completely mistaken. Indirectly, Brian wants to tell the soldier in a teasing but sharp tone that he is reading too much romantic meaning into the sentence. According to Brian, the letter is probably not as warm or romantic as the soldier hopes. Next. In minute 9:59, when Louis says, "Maybe he really is born again," the statement is not merely repeating Wood's claim of repentance, but openly questioning whether the change is real. After so many years of Woods causing problems, it is natural for everyone to remain cautious. However, the sentence implies a glimmer of optimism that maybe this time he is sincere. Maybe the change is real, so basically Lois is asking, what if he really is a different person now? Next. In minute 12:55, when Herbert says, "Everybody but Chris, just keep your pants on," he is trying to calm down the group who are panicking because they believe there is a killer in the house. The phrase "keep your pants on" means don't panic and don't act strangely. The part "everybody but Chris" is the punchline. Chris is known for doing silly or nonsensical things, so the speaker is saying that everyone can calm down except Chris, who needs extra warning so he doesn't do something stupid. Next. In minute 34:56, when everyone was huddling up and about to clean the stairs, they left Joe because he was in a wheelchair. Peter kept humming Hava Nagila, which annoyed Joe. So he said, "Peter, knock it off," which here simply means stop it right now. It's Joe trying to shut down Peter's groovy, distracting humming so they can focus and not make the situation any harder. Next. In minute 37:3, Joe saying, "Peter, give me a boost." It's just him asking Peter to help lift him up so he can reach whatever he tried to get. At first, there are drops of blood on Peter's face, and Peter thinks he has a nosebleed. But it turns out the drops of blood are coming from the roof, and he wants to make sure what's happening. So the request isn't just ordinary help, but a quick reaction to something suspicious. "Peter, lift me up. I need to see that." Next.
And then in episode 2, Excellence in Broadcasting, in minute 122, when Tom says, "In local news, there was a hit and run by a drunk driver today at Quahog Park. 2 children are missing." He's using hit and run in its literal sense. A driver caused an accident and then fled the scene. Tom is reporting the event seriously and mentioning the 2 missing children show how serious the situation is. So the meaning here is basically a drunk driver caused a crash and ran away, and now 2 children are missing. Next. And then in minute 26, after Brian struggles to finish his insult about Limbo, Stewie says, "If you want, we'll give you another crack at that." Here, another crack at that means another chance to try again. Stewie is making fun of Brian for tripping over his words, but he's also offering him a playful second attempt to say the line properly. So the meaning here is basically, if you want, you can try saying that again. Next. And then in minute 2:15, Brian says, "I'm gonna go down there and give that bastard Limbo a piece of my mind." He's angry at Limbo and wants to confront him. The idiom "give someone a piece of my mind" means to tell someone off directly and let them know exactly how upset you are. In this scene, Brian isn't playing a calm talk. He wants to confront Limbo and unload his frustration. So the meaning here is basically, I'm going to go there and angrily tell him what I think. Next. And then in minute 2:34, when Brian said his side screw up our country for a generation, he used "screw up" to express that something was badly damaged or messed up. In this scene, Brian is angrily blaming Limbo's political side for causing long-term harm to the country. So the meaning here is basically his side seriously messed up our country for years. Next. And then in minute 17:14, when Russ says, "Brian, are you nuts?" he isn't literally asking whether Brian has mental issue. Here, "are you nuts" is an idiomatic way of saying someone is acting crazy, reckless, or completely unreasonable. Rush says this because Brian suddenly shot an extreme political statement on live radio, completely ruining the tone of the show. Rush is shocked and frustrated by Brian's behavior. So the meaning here is basically, Brian, are you out of your mind?
Next, moving to episode 3, welcome back Carter. In minute 7:33, Peter caught Mr. Peter Smith or Carter cheating with someone, and he told Peter not to talk about it to anyone. And Peter said, "Okay, okay, I promise. I'll be quiet as church mouse." The phrase "as quiet as church mouse" is a simile and an idiomatic expression meaning the speaker will be extremely quiet or silent. It is often used as a promise or a way describing someone who makes very little noise. And then in minute 8, Carter comes home after being called by Peter for a family dinner and says, "Sorry, sweetheart. I lost track of time." Lost track of time here means to become unaware of how much time has passed. He talks like that to look like he's busy taking care of the sheep at the dock, even though we know why. Then in minute 9:34, at the drunken clam, Peter asks what he should do about Carter's affair. George replies, "Yeah, you could really milk this thing." Peter, you could really milk this thing, Peter. The phrase "milk this thing" idioms that mean to get the most possible benefit, advantage, or attention from a situation. In this situation, Peter can milking Carter to keep his secret. Moving on to episode 4, Halloween Spooner Street. In minute 9:4, Peter say, "I thought we're gonna go to the clam and get wasted." Peter thought they were going to clam or the bar and get wasted. Wasted here means to get very drunk, not arrested or even destroyed. And then, last one, in minute 17:45, on the Halloween night, Stewie's trick or treat bag was stolen by police, and Stewie finally took revenge by shooting a rocket and saying, "Now listen very closely, cause here's how it's gonna go down." The phrase "go down" here is an idiom. It's like maybe "take this," meaning how something will happen or take place. So it's not a physically going down, but is how this event will unfold.
Reflection. After collecting all these idioms, we notice a few important things. First, idioms appear way more often than we realize. When we watch Family Guy normally, we just focus on the jokes. But once we actually paid attention, we saw idioms everywhere in arguments, jokes, news segments, and even casual lines. Second, idioms only make sense when you look at the context. If you translate them literally, they sound weird. But when you see the scene, the tone, and the character's emotion, the meaning becomes clear. This taught us to pay closer attention to how people speak, not just the words they use. We also felt our listening skill improve. Since Family Guy moved fast, we had to rewatch some scene to catch the idioms. That really helped us notice how native speakers use expression naturally. And we learned that each character use idioms differently. Stewie used them sarcastically, Brian when he's annoyed, Peter in a chaotic way, and Tom Tucker used them seriously in the news. So idioms don't just show meaning, they also show personality. Overall, this project was fun and really practical. Instead of memorizing lists, we learned idioms through real conversation, and that made the whole process much more meaningful.
The conclusion: after looking at the idioms used in Family Guy, especially Family Guy Season 9, we noticed that the show uses a lot more idiomatic expression in more situations than many other cartoons. Because the show focuses on adult humor, quick conversation, sarcasm, and everyday speech, idioms show up often and fit naturally into the dialogue. First, like, you're all wet, keep your pants on, give you another crack at that, screwed up, and are you nuts? Show how the culture use idioms to express feeling, jokes, frustration, and exaggeration. Compared with more kids-focused show like SpongeBob SquarePants or Adventure Time, the idiom in Family Guy feel more mature and more similar to real adult conversation. Other cartoons may use idiom once in a while, but their language is usually simpler and aimed at young viewers. Family Guy, in the other hand, use idioms as part of its humor and storytelling. So they come in many forms and often involve sarcasm and satire. Overall, collecting idiom from Family Guy not only helps us learn new expressions but also shows us idioms work in real everyday speech, something you don't see as much in most other animated shows. This makes Family Guys a fun and useful way to learn natural English. Maybe I think that's all from us, guys. Maybe we want to ask a question, but there isn't anyone here. And thank you for having us in this presentation. And see you. Bye bye.